Hiya, Martin here, and thank you for joining me for Turner's Journey episode 70. I hope you're all well and you've had fantastic weeks and weekends in your workshops. Now, this week has been another busy week in the workshop. Mostly been helping other turners. There's been 2 full days of teaching this week, which have been brilliant, and there is a huge amount of satisfaction in helping somebody to learn to turn and develop their skills and show them a new skill set. It's a massive amount of job satisfaction with that one. So Brian and Colin, really well done for your work this week in the workshop. You've turned some fantastic pieces. Well done. Happy for you. Proud of you even. Big thank you also for comments on last week's Turner's Journey and the Q&A. I've got another Q&A list of questions here, and also the comments on the bowl, the big 16 by 4 inch bowl abridged video that I put up for the Make It Matter campaign, and that bowl's going to be going up for auction in the next couple of weeks until the end of February. I can't believe it's February already. It's terrifying. This episode is going to be kind of primarily about product development and stuff that's happened with Hampshire Sheen, and also something else that's new. Because that's the other stuff that's been going on in the workshop this week. There's been plenty of admin and what have you as well. So last week I showed you that palette of colours. My chair keeps spinning round by itself. So I showed you this palette of colours last week, or this palette of shades. And those of you who have any idea about me have probably gathered by now that with my entrepreneurial spirit, I'm coming up with a range of my own stains, because I'm kind of known for colouring and stuff. For me, it kind of makes sense to come out with my own range of colours. I'll come on to those in a minute. And also there's that product there, New Hampshire Sheen product, which I mentioned last week. I have labels for this coming. I'm not going to release the name of what it is just yet. This is a trial tin, and I'm incredibly happy with how it's come out. The result is silky smooth. It's more of a satin finish than anything else. It's lovely. Very pleased with this, and I'm going to be doing a giveaway next week for possibly 10 small tins of this. I'm not sure yet. I can't mainly because I can't remember how many test labels I ordered. So that's going to be coming out next week. I'm also going to do a giveaway of the colours. Big giveaway next week. Now the colours, there are 11 there. There are 11 shades there, which I have put together and blended my own shades that I like. And now this comes on to, this alludes to a question that's coming up in the Q&A about starting up a woodturning business. And also a question from last week, I think it was, or maybe the week before, about presentation. I like to think that, I'm a fairly professional kind of guy, and so I wanted to create a range of colours that complement each other nicely, but are also presented in a way that you haven't really seen before. So there are 12 bottles in a box, one each of the 11 shades, plus a 250ml bottle of the Danish oil that I use, which has a UV filter in it, which will help prolong the length of the life of the stain on the wood. So that will make up a very neat 12 bottle box. Also with the boxed set, there will be a fairly in-depth user guide on how I apply colours and stuff. I can't go into all of the detail, obviously, on a 2-sided A5 sheet, but it will at least give you a very clear idea. And there'll also be a little sample box of each of the colours in 15 milliliter measures, as well as the Danish oil as well. Now the stains are water-based, which means I can ship them across the Atlantic and all around the world because they are water-based and not spirit-based. But in the boxes that go abroad, there won't be the Danish oil. So that's those, and each box is going to have a nice wrap, a nice detailed wrap label, just to really, you know, make it look like a professional product. And each of the labels is being printed professionally rather than off an inkjet. And at the moment, the individual bottles are being boxed as well. And there'll also be a short user guide in these boxes too. So I'm really excited about those coming out. They'll be out next week, and that's very, very exciting. There's been an awful lot of thought gone into it, and not to mention an awful lot of money too. So I'm going to do a giveaway next week of a few sets of the sample packs for people to try. Now, Q&A. Thank you for your questions last week. That was really tricky last week. It really put me on the spot. Now this week, it's cut off Matthew Davey. It's cut off the spreadsheet's cut off your the end of your name. So I'm assuming it's Davies or Davey, so something like that. So Matthew Davies. For the beginner, we see many different sorts of finishing on YouTube. What is your recommendation for finishing a piece? Thank you, Matt. Okay, Matt. Now, you know I make a finish, so I'm going to be absolutely straight down the line and say the recommended finish for every single piece you make is the finish most appropriate for the use of the object. Okay, so if you're turning something decorative, for example, you might want to consider a high gloss wax. You might think about a lacquer or a wipe-on poly, something like that. If it's going to be used for food, then you need to be using a Foodsafe finish. And I can't believe I've said Foodsafe finish. There is a huge argument that will roll and roll and roll and roll and roll. Some people say that every finish is Foodsafe when it's cured. Fine, where's the evidence for that? Personally, if I'm turning a bowl for a salad bowl or a fruit bowl or something like that, then I will only use a finish that has been certified as Foodsafe, because I am not going to risk my health, my family's health, nor my customers' health on using a finish on a bowl that is intended for food unless the finish has been certified legally as Foodsafe. Because in the event that somebody gets poisoned by a finish on a piece of wood, the investigation is going to come back to you as the maker, and then they're going to investigate the finish, and if they discover that the finish has not been certified as Foodsafe, then you as the maker are liable for that person's health, and I'm not prepared to do that. So I use a certified Foodsafe finish. I use a Foodsafe oil, and I also use a clear oil, and I also use a certified Foodsafe Danish oil as well. So there you go. I'm not going to comment. I will not be commenting on any comments about all finishes being Foodsafe when cured, because I'm just not going to. The argument is just going to run and run and run. And for me, and in my workshop, and the work that leaves my workshop, if the piece is destined for use with food, it will have a certified Foodsafe finish on. Full stop. End of story. No further comment. I'm sorry if that sounded a little bit abrupt, but I get dragged into this Foodsafe stuff all the time, particularly with Hampshire Sheen. Hampshire Sheen has not been certified as Foodsafe. I say it on Facebook almost every week. It's not been certified as Foodsafe. It's never been promoted as being Foodsafe, so please don't ask. It's written all over the websites. Hampshire Sheen is for decorative items. So, anyway, back to your question, Matt. Natural edge bowls, for example, I personally don't like a high gloss finish or a glossy finish on a natural edge piece because it's natural and a little bit kind of rustic looking. I keep the finish muted, so I'll go with a couple of coats of oil and just leave it at that. We've done Foodsafe and we've done decorative, so my recommendation would be to choose the most appropriate finish for the use of the product at the end of its production, if that makes sense. Mark Hiscutt asks that he says, I'm looking at getting a medium-sized lathe from Axminster that will sit on a workbench. My question is an extractor necessary? The one I'm looking at sucks up chippings, I nearly said chickens, sucks up chickens as well as dust. Right, well, that's a tricky question. Your health is important. Dust in your lungs isn't great, so a dust extractor would be ideal. But when you're sanding, even if you do have an extractor, then you should really be wearing a mask as well, just to keep the really, really fine stuff out of your lungs. And if you can also stretch to it, an air filter. I've got an air filter just up there. So, is an extractor necessary? No, it's not necessary, because if you turn in a garage, you can open the door. If you turn in a shed, you can open the door. It's not necessary, but it is recommended that you have something to take away the majority of stuff out of the air around your lathe. But certainly you must be wearing a mask when you're sanding anyway. There, hope that helps, Mark. Right. John78 asks, what's my most useful tip for people like himself just about to start up wood turning as a business? In a nutshell, John78, work hard. Work very, very hard. If you're going into it alone, you have to be everything to everybody. I essentially still work on my own, so I have to be the producer, the accounts manager, the salesman, the marketeer, the turner, obviously. I have to do everything. So all of the different aspects of business I have to do. And you can't always do that in a normal working day, so you have to work long hours. Normally I work anywhere between 10 and 15 hours a day, depending upon what I've got on and stuff. Oh, you've also got to be the website developer, etc., and customer relations manager, packer, shipper, blah, 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 blah. The list goes on. You have to be prepared to be everything to everybody all day, every day that you're working. Make sure that your stuff is as good as it possibly can be for the price you're charging. Go back a couple of videos and look at pricing, how I price my work, and also research for how to price my work as a crafter, because a lot of people still grossly underprice their work, which devalues wood turning it, and it also devalues their own work as well. I'm not going to go into pricing now, but it is really important that you nail your prices so you still have enough money in your own pocket as well as profit in the business to buy more blanks, more finishing products, whatever. Perhaps find galleries, gift shops, that kind of thing that might be interested in taking your work. Oh dear, coffee, sorry, so sorry. And just be prepared to work extremely hard, and don't expect to make any real money, or don't expect to make a vast amount of money, certainly in your first 2 or 3 years. Every single tiny little bit of money that comes into here through YouTube, Hampshire Sheen, eventually the Stains in a couple of weeks, the sales that I make, all of the little fingers in little pies that I've got, all the money that comes in, as much as I can possibly afford, I put back into the business to develop it and move it forward. And that's probably a very useful tip, actually. Just keep reinvesting all the time and take out the absolute barest minimum that you can live on, and do that for 2 or 3 years and grow the business slowly. Hope that helps, John78. It may seem a little bit doom and gloom, but you've got to put the work in to reap the rewards. Right, Andrew Jolly, another question about dust extractors. He says, would you mind telling me what type of extractor you have? I really need one for my 10x8 shed. Many thanks, Andy. Right, Andy, I'll try and put a picture up here. I use the big double bag thing from Jet, which I think's got a 3 horsepower 3-phase motor on it. Far too big by a 10x8 shed, and you'll be better off with a much smaller unit, a single bag. My old one is a single bag one from Electra Beckham, I think it was. And if possible, cordon it off, try and put it into a separate cupboard or something like that if you can, or even, like I did in the old workshop, build a little lean-to thing for it outside, and that'll keep the noise levels down inside the workshop as far as possible. That's what I would suggest. Get a single bag one, or even a shop vac. Some of the shop vacs are very good, quite noisy, and they're worth investigating as well. Thank you, Andrew, for that one. Now, Paige Palmer. Paige is in New Zealand, and she posted this a little while ago, and I haven't had a chance to really think about it. But she suggests that I post my new book, the Woodturner's Journal. She's suggesting that I post the book as a PDF to download, and then it could be used in a perhaps a Word document or printed off as individual sheets, that kind of thing. Which I'm thinking about. A PDF might be an idea for it. What do you think? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you think I should release the Turner's Journal, the Woodturner's Journal, as a PDF? I would need to reformat it, make it bigger, make a couple of changes to it. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And Paige, thank you for your comment. Sorry it's taken me a few weeks to get around to, but I have answered it now. Next week is another busy week. I've got loads of these bottles that need filling and stuff. So I'm hoping to get a video out. Monday is the only day next week I have the chance of actually getting a video made and edited to get it out on Tuesday. I'm still considering doing that Elm Burr piece, but I might think of something else. I'll tell you what, I might do a review. I might do a review of the Robert Sorby Pro Edge. That might be an idea, actually. Robert Sorby Pro Edge review, that would be good. But just have to remember to do it. Yeah, Robert Sorby Pro Edge review, hopefully on Tuesday. Turner's Journey next week as well. And I've got a day and a half's teaching to do next week too. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Apologies for the noise and stuff going on behind me. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now.